From Spinner.com, it's Ground Zero. Ground Zero. Zero.
Everything in its right place from Radiohead's Kid A. Ed O'Brien and Colin Greenwood, members of Radiohead, are with us, and Chris Douridas. It's Ground Zero. We're actually in the dining area of the Legacy Lodge in Park City, Utah.
Yeah.
You just started snowboarding 2 days ago?
Yeah, I started falling over 2 days ago. Yeah, it's good. Bruising and humbling experience.
Now, you guys are here at Sundance, at the Sundance Film Festival, debuting songs from the forthcoming album, Amnesiac. We heard actually 4 songs. The album is now due for a June release, and it's the parallel album to Kid A. That's what you guys have been calling it in the press. Parallel because they came out of the same sessions, essentially.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it was over an 18-month period of recording, and we didn't want to combine all the recordings because it would be like some, we don't like double albums, and we didn't want to tax the listeners' attention time span. So we started off with one record, and the ones left over we sort of managed to put together. But we're happy with how they've worked together, both records, I think.
So hearing it like that, it sounds like they were almost outtakes that or leftovers.
No, it's not. It's really, that's one of the main things that we're really trying to get across. It's not outtakes. It's like
we'd go in like for like a week, like every day from 4 o'clock through to 11 or 12, working on the track listings for Kid A, and with all the songs that we'd recorded, desperately trying to put in the songs that are on the next album, and we just couldn't make an order fit. So there's absolutely no sense of these other songs on Amnesiac being leftovers.
It is some of the best songs we've ever. I mean, I think the best song, Pyramid Song, is probably the best song we've recorded.
Everybody seems to feel that there was a real breakthrough there with Pyramid Song. That's a powerful moment for the band. Can you speak to how that song came together?
Yeah, Eddie.
Yeah, that was. And basically, what happened was Tom did the vocal and the piano, Phil played the drums at the same time, did the take, that was great. Then the strings were added, and it was pretty much finished then, The
inception of the song was, and we were in Copenhagen, and Tom went around the Museum of Culture, and there was an exhibition of Egyptian underworld and tomb art, of people being ferried across the river of death. I don't know what it's called in Egyptian mythology, and he was, and he was very affected by it, and he went back and sat behind the piano and wrote it, and we had like an amazing version of it on DAT, which is really beautiful, and we wanted to work to, but it was on DAT, so we couldn't use it, and then we spent the next year trying to piece it together, basically. 6 months.
Jumped in the river, what did I see? Black-eyed angels swam with me. nothing to fear, nothing to die.
That's called Pyramid Song, new work from Radiohead's Amnesiac release. Forthcoming work, due in stores early June. I'm Chris Douridas, Colin Greenwood, and Ed O'Brien of Radiohead are with us. There's a cinematic quality to the things that I've been hearing on the new album. Lush string arrangements, very orchestral sweeps and things like that. The fact that you guys are here at Sundance, and the fact that there is sort of a cinematic approach to the recordings these days.
The whole thing about visualizing, our songs are quite, Tom always says that when he writes a song or writes a lyric or whatever, he's visualizing something. He's got something in his head, a picture or something, and I think that's the case. Found that on OK Computer, and the stuff that's come out, and I mean, it was, things like strings and stuff and orchestra were a bit of a departure for us, and we kind of stayed away from it really because it can be such a cliched thing to do, especially with bands. It's easy, bands with guitar, stick some strings on and you've got this epic kind of, things sound like November Rain by Guns N' Roses. And
in our dreams.
Yeah, right, in our dreams. To be brutally honest, I think that the idea of doing a big budget kind of film would not be up our alley, but something that's different, something that's Radiohead in the kind of the film world would obviously be ideal. I know that sounds obvious, but something that's a bit different, and I guess we'll wait until we get a great script that comes along and get people who we trust, who think it's going to be a good idea, and then get involved. And it'd be an interesting discipline for us as well, to also be, the director of any film has the final say of what goes in and what doesn't, and that would be quite interesting. Someone saying, no, you can't put that in there, you can, that's no good there. No one ever does that to us nowadays, so future directors, beware.
And the suicide
from Radiohead's forthcoming album, Amnesiac. It's due in stores June 5th from Capitol Records. I'm Chris Douridas. Ed O'Brien and Colin Greenwood of the band are with us. More when we continue at Ground Zero. Stay with us. From Spinner.com, it's Ground Zero. I'm Chris Douridas. With us, Ed O'Brien and Colin Greenwood of the band Radiohead, and songs from their forthcoming album Amnesiac. It's due June 5th on Capitol Records. This one's called Packt like Sardines in a Crushed Tin Box.
Nothing came.
Amnesiac, an album due in early June. I'm Chris Douridas, Colin Greenwood, and Ed O'Brien of Radiohead are with us. On the eve of the release of Kid A, Ed, you described the album, you characterized the album as a new beginning for the band.
I think a lot of it is when you've kind of like done 3 albums on the trot, like Pablo Honey, The Bends, and OK Computer. I think one of the things is you feel as though you're kind of in a rut in terms of your typecast. Oh, that's the band who write epic guitar songs that, you know. And I think we just needed to get away from that, wanted to get away from that. And also, plus the fact that we were in a position that we didn't feel very comfortable with, you know. It's a great thing. It's a great thing to be able to play, you know, as we did an arena tour or whatever, and to have done it. But the actual realities of it are that it was something we did, you know, some bands can do it really well, but we just did not feel comfortable with it, and all those things, and, you know, getting older, and we had to make the adjustment of the school band that hit the road and did albums for pretty much 7-8 years on the trot.
Right.
You have to adjust, you know, you get older, you've got to find ways of growing up and dealing with the band. So I mean, it was, you know, it's all when we got our studio, and we were in the studio for 18 months, and it's all about, you know, it's all about adjusting, it's all about carrying on learning, you know. At least that's the main thing, you carry on learning in this band, and you know, the learning process may not be that fun.
Do you remember the you know, in terms of the writing process and the recording process, where the breakthrough came? Was there a moment of epiphany, or was it a series of smaller?
It's a series of small ones, really. The first one I remember was the one when we were in Batsford, and Nigel and, you know, we've been working in a band context a lot of the time, and one night Nigel and Tom sort of shut themselves away and did everything in its right place, and heard it the next day, and it was like, that was a breakthrough. That was something that, you know, the sound of what they'd done was like, yeah, that's really it's different, and it's something that really excites us. So that was one. But when you're in the studio for 18 months, it's you have little breakthroughs, sort of. They often come together as well. You often have a really creative week, and then you're fallow for like 4 or 5 weeks, and that can be very frustrating. It was just a series. It just went on and on, didn't it? You know.
It was a saga.
How do the titles Kid A and Amnesiac fit into the sort of transformations the band has?
I think it's fairly arbitrary, the titles. I mean, I think Amnesiac, you know, I think there was the idea that it was the forgotten one, you know, the forgotten record maybe, or something. Kid A was, it just, you know, it's one of those things that just seemed to fit. It was the name of a sample originally on the Kid A song, and you know, it's one of those names that it's great from its spawn. Thousands of rumours amongst, you know, Radiohead fans or whatever, and they all have their own theory, and that's great. That's what it's about. I mean, I think there was a list of names, and that seemed to be the one that fitted the album most closely. Yeah. It's quite, you know, it's quite cold. There's no emotion to Kid A, and I think that's what the record is like. It's very on a level.
Kid A debuted at #1 on the Billboard charts in the United States. Now, even to some of, you know, everyone's best expectations, that was somewhat of a surprise. It was, I think, a revelation, or at least a reminder to record companies that, you know, good music can strike a chord across the so-called demographics.
Yeah.
You know? Has the success of Kid A altered the plot for Amnesiac?
I think that the success of Kid A in America has sort of changed certain people in the band's attitude towards America, with regards to like support in America. I think people were taken by surprise by how sort of there was a sort of level of success, and we'd sort of forgotten that we'd had like our first record out in, I suppose, 93, and then albums, you know, we've been around for a while, and people had gone to school and college and, you know, and all that stuff, and been around as long as we have. So and you know, and I like that idea that you become sort of woven into sort of the cultural tapestry of people's lives, you know, over like 10-15 year periods, you know, and you're creating music that people like have used to punctuate like various sort of periods of their life, you know. So you know, whether it's like have dinner parties or whatever. So, but anyway, I'm rambling now. So, but it's, but I mean, it was cool, you know. It was good, you know, and we made all these facile jokes about how, you know, we've always loved to coming to America, and like we know because America really understands us, you know, and you know, and our music and all this kind of cheesy stuff. But the week when the record went #1 in America was it was very strange. Obviously, we were in New York and it was in #1, and you know, but everyone said it was a slow week for music, and which is, you know, and so that's what, yeah. Anyway, that's how was it for you, Ed?
It was wonderful. No, it was great. It was great. And then I think one of the best things for me was that, you know, obviously that people liked it, but you also it was this amazing thing. We did this gig at what's it called? Roseland.
Right.
Yeah, we did this gig at Roseland, and people from different record companies were coming up and saying, I don't work with your band, I don't, you know, I'm in a rival label, blah, 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 but thank you. At last there's something different in the industry, and we don't have to, you know, the industry has become so stale. There are set routes because that's the way you do, you know, you got your boxes, your guitar band, you go in that box, you got that one, you're a hip hop band, you go in that box. It's all bullshit, that stuff. It's economic rationalization, and I think one of the great things about this record is, like, hopefully it'll stir up a few of those fat fuckers and, you know, the head of the record companies and stuff like that who've sorry for the profanity, and you know, music should not be subdivided into categories. Music should be all over the shop, and it shouldn't. It's not consistent, and it's not rational, and that's what's great about it. You know, it should be freer.
No, it's really shaking the rug up, you know.
I don't know if I don't know. I mean, in reality, I don't know whether one album can do it, but hopefully it will give, you know, other bands who will say, listen, we've sold this amount of records, give them the courage. I mean, that's probably a bit arrogant on my part saying that, but it would be nice to think that there would be that even record labels will go, okay, well, we don't know everything, we don't have all the answers, and maybe this band, if they feel comfortable doing it this way, then that's right. And just, you know, solidarity, bands.
Yeah, Ed's coming out with all this sort of righteous 70s Grateful Dead sort of stuff, and he's looking out at the sort of snow flurries and these trees and mountain.
What, do you think I've been speaking Grateful Dead
about
stuff?
The kids and
what have I said about the kids? I've never said anything
about music and like not having any boundaries. And,
but what do you think? So you sort of down the...
I think you're right, you know.
Right, okay.
I think as long as in the record shop, then that's the only place they should be, so it's easy to find them.
Right, okay.
Right, kids?
The band began in Oxford. You and Tom met first.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. Probably, yes. Well, we were like, yeah, in class.
You weren't in the band first?
No, I wasn't. And Ed never tires of reminding me that as well. He always likes to get that little dig in there, you know. It always makes it.
You were voted in by the subcommittee.
There's a whole pension system based on seniority and who was in first. The whole wage system is based in, you know.
And you guys practiced on a Friday, so that was your first name, On a Friday?
Yes.
On a Friday.
Terrible.
Well, you know, I guess it's something about titles, isn't it? It's like something that we do have some thought to it, but I mean, we generally sort of don't enjoy the whole title thing because it's like, it's sort of the whole having sort of, it's some kind of like manifesto or drawing attention to yourself as a project, you know,
it's
or something.
In stone
yeah, and it's just absolutely terrible, you know.
Well, you know, now looking from this vantage point,
I don't think you can really. I don't. I mean, I don't think you should do. Because I think there's something obviously interesting that's going on there, you know, the school band and how it affects a band and how a band evolves and how they stay together and how, you know, how the characters are and but I think that I mean, at least I don't know about you, Colin, but I don't think about it. Ours not to reason why, you know, just do it and then think about it.
I love that Black Sabbath biogs and stuff where they all get interviewed and you've got like Geezer Butler with like big bookshelves of like philosophy books and stuff behind him and like in this sort of Laura Ashley wallpaper. So, you know, all that kind of stuff.
Thank you so much for joining us. Thanks for giving us the time. I know we're taking time out of the snowboard lessons and the practice.
Because, you know, I'm going to head straight out, aren't we?
Yeah,
What do you think?
Ed wants to go and kiss the snow one more time.
Kiss the mountain.
Kiss the mountain, sorry. Sounds like some arcane drugs reference, doesn't it? Do apologise.
I'm Chris Douridas. With us, Ed O'Brien and Colin Greenwood of Radiohead at Ground Zero.
Dollars and Cents, Radiohead from the new album Amnesiac. The album is due in stores June 5th. Thanks again to Ed and Colin of Radiohead for joining us on the slopes recently in Park City, Utah. We also had help on the show today from Shelby Mead, Chris Hufford, Rob Gordon, Jen Bird, Liza Richardson. Our production assistant is James Combs, the technical producer, Richard Wynn, the executive producer is Gemma Dempsey. I'm Chris Douridas. You can email us with your questions, comments, suggestions. Our address is groundzero@spinner.com. Ground Zero is a co-production of spinner.com and KCRW Santa Monica.